Okay, let's jump straight into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a really groundbreaking investment opportunity, one that perfectly merges natural botanical science with highly scalable functional food. Welcome to our deep dive into CTOGO. If you're an investor on the hunt for the next massive disruption in the health and wellness space, well, you are in exactly the right place. We're going to break down a scientifically validated product that tackles two of the absolute biggest global health crises at the exact same time: the obesity epidemic and cognitive decline. Here's our quick agenda for today. We'll cover Section 1, the global wellness market gap. Section 2, the CTYOG solution and biological mechanism. Section 3, formulation and extraction process. Section 4, proven clinical trial results. And finally, Section 5, the business case and commercialization. All right, starting off with Section 1, the global wellness market gap. So what if we could tackle both the obesity epidemic and cognitive decline in a single, natural, and affordable product? That is literally the billion-dollar question the researchers set out to answer here. I mean, obesity has nearly tripled worldwide since 1975, right? And in places like Malaysia, over half the adult population is overweight or obese. But, it's not just about waistlines anymore. Science is increasingly showing us a direct, undeniable link between obesity, chronic inflammation, and severe cognitive impairment. The traditional interventions, they're simply failing consumers. We desperately need a more holistic approach. And this comparison right here brilliantly illustrates why the market is just so hungry for a change. When we contrast current pharmaceutical drugs like orlistat, which often come with pretty harsh side effects like gastrointestinal discomfort and nutrient malabsorption, with what consumers actually want today, the market gap is glaringly obvious. Consumers are actively demanding preventive healthcare solutions. They want things that are natural, affordable, and actually safe for long-term daily use. Essentially, they want functional foods, not just another pill to swallow. Moving right along to Section 2, the CT-YOG solution and biological mechanism. So our core active ingredient is Clitoria ternaria. Now, you might know it better as the butterfly pea flower. But actually, scratch that. This isn't just some trendy, pretty ingredient for fancy teas. It is a true botanical powerhouse. It's an abundant, locally sourced plant that provides a totally natural, highly potent foundation for our product. It's absolutely packed with bioactive compounds that have been historically and now scientifically linked to incredible neuroprotective and metabolic benefits. The real magic here, though, is the synergistic dual-action biological mechanism. It's like a 1-2 punch. On one side, the probiotic yogurt goes to work on your gut health, improving digestion and increasing satiety, which basically means you feel fuller a lot faster. On the other side, the butterfly pea flower-specific bioactives kick in. You've got anthocyanins acting as powerful antioxidants to protect your brain tissues. Then, flavonoids actively suppress fat creation and bump up fat burning. And finally, polyphenols step in to cool down chronic inflammation and improve your insulin sensitivity. It's a complete, multifunctional attack on both metabolic dysfunction and cognitive stress. Okay, let's look at how it's made. Section 3, formulation and extraction process. As an investor, you want to know this is scalable, right? Well, we have a highly systematic 5-step extraction and fortification process that is totally optimized for low-cost commercial manufacturing. First, we select safe, nutritious raw materials. Next is a streamlined ethanol extraction to pull out those crucial flavonoids and anthocyanin we just talked about. Then, we move into standard, highly scalable yogurt production using full cream milk and starter cultures. Phase 4 is where the real product fortification happens, blending in the exact right dosage of our extract. And finally, rigorous efficacy validation. The best part? This entire framework is built to plug seamlessly right into existing dairy manufacturing lines. Let's get to the data. Section 4, proven clinical trial results. During our Phase 5 validation, we tested multiple concentrations to find that perfect therapeutic sweet spot. We isolated the ideal dosage, which we named the T2 optimized group, using 10 milliliters per kilogram of CT-YOG. We then measured this specific group directly against untreated Sprague dolly rat models that were fed a high-fat diet. We wanted to see exactly how well CT-YOG performs under serious obesity-inducing conditions. And wow, the results were striking. To put this in perspective, look at the untreated obese group. They were taking in nearly 28,000 kilojoules. But our T2 group, they dropped all the way down to just over 17,500. Even more importantly, they maintained a drastically lower body weight. While the untreated high-fat diet group ballooned up to 256 grams, the CTYOG group stayed beautifully regulated at 218.5 grams. This absolutely proves that our appetite and metabolic regulation mechanisms are actively working to curb calorie intake and manage weight totally naturally. When you translate those numbers into percentages, it really paints a clear picture of the overall health impact. The T2 group saw a 36.9% reduction in calorie intake and a nearly 15% reduction in overall body weight. But honestly, the most compelling metric on the board is the behavioral shift. Their locomotor activity, basically their physical movement and mobility, skyrocketed by almost 139% compared to the untreated group. Think about that for a second. This isn't just about dropping weight, it translates directly to restored physical vitality and energy. And it gets better. This next stat is crucial for our dual action claim. The T2 group spent 89% more time in the central zone during behavioral testing. In the scientific community, that is a key indicator of significantly improved cognitive exploratory behavior. Alongside this, they showed a 30.6% reduction in anxiety-like behaviors. This is hard proof that the neuroprotective compounds from the butterfly pea flower are actively crossing over to support mental and cognitive wellness. Which brings us to the bottom line. Section 5, the business case and commercialization. So, we know the science is rock solid, but how does this look for the business? Well, the crucial point for any investor is the margin. And I've got to say, the unit economics here are incredibly favorable. Because we're utilizing locally abundant botanical resources and standard fermentation processes, our total batch production cost stays incredibly low. We're looking at an estimated cost per serving of just 1.50 to 2 ringgit Malaysia. That leaves room for seriously lucrative margins when we position CT Yogurt at a highly competitive projected retail price of 4.50 to 6.50 ringgit. It's a win-win, affordable for the consumer and highly profitable for the business. And we aren't just building a single product, we're building a platform. The potential here doesn't stop at the dairy aisle. Beyond your standard 150-gram premium yogurt cup, the underlying CTYOG extract formula is super versatile. We can easily pivot into drinkable portable yogurts, freeze-dried yogurt powders for a much longer shelf life, and even functional smoothie mixes. This lets us capture direct-to-consumer retail markets, targeting overweight adults in aging populations, while also opening up lucrative B2B ingredient channels within the booming global nutraceutical market. Here is our clear, highly structured roadmap to revenue. Right now, we're at technology readiness level 5, meaning the lab validation and the animal trials are fully complete. Over the next year, we optimize for pilot-scale production and shelf life. By month 18, we tackle consumer acceptance and regulatory hurdles. By month 24, we secure our manufacturing partnerships and conduct clinical human trials. And that leads directly into TRL9, a full market launch and distribution expansion within just 3 years. Ultimately, this quote perfectly captures our exact market positioning. CT Yog aligns flawlessly with a massive global consumer shift. People are actively moving away from reactive, chemical-heavy treatments and leaning heavily toward preventative, natural, and dual-function healthcare. We aren't just pitching a snack today. We're offering an accessible daily intervention that genuinely improves both physical and mental quality of life. So the scientific mechanism is validated. The clinical trials show extraordinary improvements in both metabolic and cognitive health. The profit margins are excellent, and the global consumer demand for natural, functional foods is waiting right now. We have the blueprint for the very future of functional wellness. So the only question left to ask is, who wants to secure their stake in bringing CTYOG to the world?